Good evening, everybody. I'm just putting my watch on. I realized as CC was going down, CC goes down below. We chat for a little bit about the show, and then other fun stuff, and then she goes kind of on to the ones and twos and goes back. And as I'm putting my hand up, I'm going, "Oh, you never put your watch on." So I put my watch on, because I got to do that signature. Everyone knows that thing, right? That I do here. Can you see it when I do the thing, right? You gotta have a watch on when you do that. Good evening. You are watching WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Television or radio, and both. And I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Sloot. I'm super excited to be hanging out with you. It's been a while since I've been hanging out with y'all. Really, I'm a big fan of just getting stuff off my chest. This is the Barber Shop. If you haven't been watching us before, what we like to do is talk about men's issues as if you're in the barber shop. So what I'm going to do real quick, I have a sip of sparkling water, but I want to share. I always like to share the show with folks so that I can, share with all my groups. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try something new this time, CC. Let's see if I can do this right. I'm going to share it. How do I share this thing? I'm going to share it from my TV screen, thinking maybe from my computer, thinking maybe it'll be a better, an easier thing to watch. Let me see if I can do it. Share now with friends. Yeah. But I want to share it. Hold on. Let me see if I want to share more options. Share to a group. Oh, yeah. That's what I want to do. Share. Oh, yeah. We'll just hit this button. Share. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Share. This is addicting. Share. Oh, yeah. We like this. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it all over the place. You're going to kick me out of your group? That's cool. I'm going to share my video. I'm just kidding. So absolutely love to share this with all the body positive groups that I'm in, all the dating groups I'm in. What's funny, too, is I'm not even trying to date right now. And I got to stay in these dating groups so that I can talk about dating. And tonight we're going to talk about, and then we're going to share one more time. Tonight we're going to talk about how long you should wait before you date. And I just shared it with friends. I want to get into this thing. I want to start? Hold on. You're now watching a live video. I want to get in on this watch party thing, though. I never could figure out the watch party, right? Can you guys figure out the watch party? Yeah. When I'm trying to get into this thing, I'm trying to. I think you got to go to your profile and watch it from your profile. Share, embed, share via more options. Let me see something. Let me see. Oh, it's not even letting me do it. More. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to share it. I don't know. I guess I can't. Sorry. I'll watch it and see if a watch party happens. It's sometimes what happens too. So here we go. I don't know. I'll watch it and see what happens. So if you're just checking in. This is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. You're watching The Barber Shop. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Sloot. Tonight, we are talking about how long to wait before you date. And, there's a couple of easy answers to this, right? And Cece's going to laugh at me because I feel like, do we even have to have a radio show? Every time we do this, sorry, I have to get a little bit more seltzer. I'm not a drinker, y'all. I live in Sin City. I live in Las Vegas, and you would think that I would be tempted by the drinking and the gambling and the sexiness of Las Vegas. Not my thing. Not my thing at all. I will tell you what I'm addicted to. I am addicted to food. Love food. I need to do something about that. I've been kind of off the wagon a bit, and I don't care about body positivity and my weight. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm very secure in my size. I like being I call myself a bigger guy. People don't even think I'm a bigger guy. I sit around 215. It's big, it's a decent sized guy. But I've been binging. I've been filling my time with food, and it's not a healthy, relationship with food. And then what winds up happening is I starve myself, or, I'll that kind of stuff. I'll fast for the day. It's just not a good feeling. When I'm doing my shakes, I'm doing my nutrients and my supplements, I feel good. My other addiction is affection, and I love it. Especially affection when you meet someone new. Does that feel good? When you meet someone new and you get to tell them about yourself and you get to learn about them and you kind of get that, fun feeling between the two of you. It's fun. It's cool. And it's a good feeling. I don't know if, it could be part of my attachment style, that avoidant attachment style. I love to meet someone new. But it could also be that I'm not waiting long enough between dates. I don't want to plug my phone in because I don't seem to have a watch party showing up on my Facebook, so maybe I'll pop one on here. But as I'm doing this, so Cece's going to laugh. I think every one of my shows could be the same answer, right? And the answer is very simple. At the end of the show, we wound up going, so what did we learn on the show today? We learned on the show today that it really depends. And so, if you want to skip the next 40 minutes and just go to the end of the show, right? You'd be like, well, it really depends, right? That's not what we're talking about, right? What we're talking about, though, is we're really talking about, what does it depend on? What are the factors? And I just want to get the show going because I do like doing these little watch parties. How do I do? Oh, here we go. Yeah, is this a watch party? I don't even know. Am I inviting friends? What am I doing here? Right post. Oh, here we go. Come watch with me. Come watch with me. And then does it do a watch party? How do I do the watch party? I don't know anymore. I'm done with technology. I don't even know anymore what we're doing. How do I invite? I want to invite friends to this thing. Zuckerberg, why do you change everything? I want to invite people. I want to invite my friends. So the answer is it depends, right? So that's the first answer. And the second answer is I don't know. So if you want to skip to the end, those are the two answers. But seriously, let's get into it. I'm so thankful to be back. I'm so thankful to be on the show again and hanging out. It's been a long couple of weeks. I've been just dealing with my own personal and professional stuff, and I know Cece's got a lot going on in Roulette. Roulette's going to wind up coming. We're hanging out this weekend, Roulette, man. I'm excited. If twice were coming, we'd have like a full, bold weekend, man. But Roulette's going to come by. We're going to hang out. And I enjoy guy time. I do. It's, I think we're going to go to Circa on Saturday night. That's the new bar, the new hotel and casino downtown. And I like being with the dudes. I love hanging out with my guys. It's a good feeling. I like to be surrounded by folks. But there's definitely a piece of me that, that does want that relationship, and, I've kind of gotten into this trend where I really like, I really want to get this darn watch party going. I guess it's not going to happen tonight. There used to be a darn button that said watch party, right? But I used to be, I started this trend where every show I am kind of starting with a movie scenario, and I kind of like it. I'm a movie guy. Some of the things I've been watching lately, just finished Iron Fist, which I'm loving. I loved. It's gone. It's over. It was only 2 seasons long. I thought he was great. A lot of people didn't like him. I thought he was awesome. I finished Cobra Kai season 3. Bomb. Had a watch party. Great time. Had all the snacks. Just like killed it. Sat in sweats and just like ate. Just had a good time. One of my favorite movies of all time is Swingers. And Swingers is not what you think it is, right? Let's get that out of the way because we're watching a dating show. Swingers is not what you think it is. Swingers is one of my favorite movies that is about one guy. It's really about one guy, Jon Favreau. Back in the day, Jon Favreau met Vince Vaughn on the set of Rudy. Fun fact that you didn't know that. Okay, Jon Favreau played D-Bot, Rudy's mentor and friend and tutor, and Vince Vaughn played Jamie, the second string halfback that really had it out for Rudy because Rudy had more heart than he did. And Vince Vaughn had maybe 3 lines, and Jon Favreau had a bigger role, and they met on the set, and they wrote this movie. They wrote Swingers and they wrote Made. Kind of like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, right? One was a little better than the other. And kind of like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had created Good Will Hunting. Well, they make this movie Swingers, and Swingers is really about one guy, Jon Favreau's character. I don't even know his name in the movie. I just call him because they call him. They're like, you're so money, you don't even know it, right? And that's what I think about. You're so money, you don't even know it. I don't even know the guy's name, but he broke up. He kind of didn't break up with his girl. Okay, he leaves New York to go to L.A. and it's all about them trying to make it as actors in L.A. And they're all trying to, they all different parts of entertainment, from actors to comedy to production, that kind of stuff. And he's really forlorn because as he leaves New York, Michelle, his now ex, says, "Look, we can't, So my favorite 2 scenes, I'm going to spoiler alert if you're watching, okay? My 2 favorite scenes in the movie. The first scene is the first scene in the movie where he's sitting across the way from, he's the guy from Office Space, another one of his friends. There's like 6 guys that they're buddies, and I love these kinds of movies. I like Made, I like Strays, not Made, Swingers, Strays, anything that's like dudes dealing with stuff. Good Will Hunting is a similar kind of movie. I love these kind of movies. And they're sitting across from the diner, and it's a real cool shot because you're just zooming in on Favreau's face. And he goes, "Well, so how do you know when to move on?" He was like, "You kind of don't know when to move on. You kind of just have to move on." And he's like, "Well, when does she come back?" "She comes back when she comes back." He's like, "Oh, so she's going to come back." "Yeah, she's probably going to come back like right after you've moved on." He's like, "Right. So it's like I could pretend to move on and then she'll come back and then it'll be cool because like I was only pretending." He's like, "Well, it's usually more like you've moved on, you started to pretend, then you actually moved on, and then she comes back." He's like, "Well, what if she comes back first?" And he goes, "Well, they always kind of know when to come back. It's right after you've moved on." And it's a really cool scene for a couple of reasons. One is it's 1000% true. The minute you don't need the energy in your life is the minute that it comes back. And it's not coming back to help you. It's coming back to hurt you. It's coming back to drain you. I am fully confident that the minute I get over my ex, I'll get an email or a text or something, or whatever it is. Just it'll happen, right? The second thing that I love, sorry, I need some sparkling water. The second thing that I love about the scene is it shows 1000% that men talk about this too. Now we don't make an event about it, right? Women, because I have a lot of female friends, I'm not generalizing, I'm not women, no. A lot of my female friends say, and women I've dated, when there's a new guy in their life, they like, or a date or whatever, they like order dinner and like go out and like tell me every detail about what's going on. And I have some female friends and they want that from me too. And that's cool. Like, I'm a sensitive dude. I'll do that. So that's why I like that scene. Now the last scene in the movie, again, spoiler alert, right? The last scene in the movie is Jon Favreau with another friend. And it's again zooming in on his face and he goes, "I just figured it out." And the guy's like, figured what out, Mike? Mike, that's his name. "Figure what out, Mike?" And he gets distracted. It's Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn gets distracted because there's like a girl across the diner and he thinks she's flirting with him and she's not. And it's like really funny because Jon Favreau has figured it out by the end of the movie and Vince Vaughn's still playing these little games, right? And he goes, "Figured what out, Mike?" And then it just like, it fades out and you never learn what Mike has figured out. We're going to explore tonight what I think Mike has figured out. And we're going to explore it through some of my, just some of my experiences, right? Here's a rule that, and you know what I usually do, right? I usually go through the generic stuff and then, the second part of the show, I go through kind of my experiences. So we'll go through some of like the generic stuff that I've learned. They say, where did I hear this from? I heard this when I was 18, 17, something like that. I was working for a radio station, and one of my bosses said this to me, and I'm okay, fine. I was happily in a relationship. He had broken up with his ex at the time, and he said to me, "You should be over your ex in half the time that the relationship lasted." Let me repeat that so that we get it. You should be over your ex in half the time that the relationship lasted. So let me give you an example. If the relationship lasted a year, it might take you 6 months to get over that, right? If the relationship lasted 2 years, it might take you 1 year to get over the relationship. Now, I'm sitting here going like, but okay, for everyone? Because I've had relationships that have been a few months, and it took me a long time to get over because I think that person and I had a true connection. I've had a relationship that lasted over a year, and I was like, I'm pretty okay, pretty good, because I don't think that there was a connection there. I've had relationships that weren't relationships, that I thought were relationships that weren't, and it took me a long time to get over, right? So you've got to think about, is that true for everybody? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I think, and then you got to ask yourself, why am I even bringing this up? Because the show is not about how to get over your ex. The show is how to wait between relationships. Well, should we not make that connection that we are waiting to start a new relationship because we're not over our ex? Like, you don't start a new relationship before getting over your ex. We call that a rebound, right? A rebound is fine. I think you need to be very upfront with the person you're rebounding with, right? I've been in situations where we both go, hey, we're both rebounding. Let's have some fun. Let's figure it out. Let's rebound together, And, you think that starts like it's a good idea. It's not always a good idea, because somebody's going to catch some feelings before the other person catches some feelings. And you're dating under the context that this is a rebound, right? That we are just helping each other get over, that last person. And under that context, it really could be damaging to both parties, one party, whatever. The best thing to do is to not rebound, right? Is to just chill with your emotions, with your feelings, and then figure out and go from there. It is challenging. I think of it like, I had heart surgery. When did I have heart surgery? 5 years. 5 years ago. 6? 5. About 5 years ago, I had heart surgery. And I was on these painkillers because I had heart surgery. Folks, give me a break. And I had this heart surgery, and I was in a lot of pain. And so they gave me some really heavy painkillers. Now, if you know me, I don't know that I have an addictive personality. I think everyone has a vice. I really do. And in this town, everyone's got a vice. I mean, you can clearly find that everyone's got a vice. Do I think I have an addictive personality? I think I have the tendency to. I come from a family of folks who are food addicts. And so I think it's fair to say. But then again, I think everyone's got a vice, right? So I don't know. I'm petrified of drugs, narcotics, right? If it comes from the ground, thumbs up, you're good. Petrified of narcotics. So I didn't want to get hooked on these painkillers. So what did I do? I decided to go a day without them to see how much pain I was actually in, so that I can figure out how much I needed, because I was really on some heavy dosage. And to me, that was important so that I could, was it a painful day? Yeah, you bet your butt it was. It was really painful. But then I knew how much supplement I needed going forward, right? We're almost at 20 minutes on the hour. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to tell you when we come back why I chose to do that and what the metaphor is and how we should figure out what we need going forward after our relationship is over. I'm your host of the Barber Shop. This is WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network. This is Dr. Christopher Salute. We are talking about how long to wait before you date, how long to wait before you're in a relationship. We're going to take a quick break. If this is your first time with us, hang out. I think Cece throws in some looped commercials. If not, you'll see some silence for a couple of seconds, and then we'll be back with you in a moment. Talk to you soon. Bye. And we're back. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm your host of the Barber Shop, Dr. Christopher Salute. You are watching WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so glad to be back. I'm just glad to be able to help. I had a, this is not the reason that we were taking a break. I just needed a break for the holidays, and we had some weird stuff going on with production and my schedule, and work's been really crazy. Just glad to be back. I'm glad to help folks. If you follow me on TikTok, I took a break on TikTok for a little over a month as well, because I wasn't available to teach. I was still not feeling great about a breakup that happened quite a long time ago, and you go through the motions, you go through the hostility and the toxicity and the potential abuse. And you're like, it's just not the right time. How can I teach people, right? How can I be in a situation where I'm instructing others if I'm not right, if I'm not okay myself? But tonight we're talking about how long to wait before you start a relationship, how long to wait before the date. And right before the break, I had talked about why for a day when I had my heart surgery, why I took a day to get off my painkillers. I needed to know what the pain felt like, because I needed to know what the dosage was that was going to make it feel better. Because I didn't want to be on a heavy dosage of painkillers after my heart surgery if I didn't need it. What's the metaphor? There's always the metaphor, right? Well, the metaphor is this. You need to sit in your feelings. You need to sit in your pain, because you're not going to know what you need if you're continuing to numb yourself, right? And what does numbing yourself look like? I've done it. I've done it for years. I was a serial monogamist. And when I wasn't a serial monogamist, I was a playboy. I don't lie about it, right? I was on Tinder. I was on every dating website you could possibly imagine. Pretty upfront about it, especially when I first got separated, got divorced. I went as far as to say, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't had a lot of experiences, in that way. And I just kind of want to have more, I kind of want more. I want to have fun. It's not exactly what I said. I was a little bit more obtuse and a little bit, less of a gentleman, but I wanted to be straightforward. And people said, cool, let's have some fun. Or they said, hey, not my scene. And that's fine too. But you don't know what you need until you finally start numbing yourself. And here's the kicker. Talk about how long to wait before you date. If you continue to numb yourself, you are pushing yourself back. The clock doesn't start ticking when the breakup happens. No, the clock actually starts ticking when you stop numbing yourself. And that's something that you really need to be aware of. So what I'll do every time, pattern, every single time, just be aware of what I'm about to say. Something I'm working on that I hope I never do again. What I have done, not what I do, what I have done. When I broke up with my last ex, mid-COVID. What is mid-COVID anymore? Are we mid-COVID now? I don't even know. We broke up. And she probably didn't even get out of Nevada before I had a Tinder profile. Because she doesn't live here. Before I had a Tinder profile up. Was it the right thing to do? It was the thing I did. Did it make me feel better? In the moment it did. Right? Now, I know her pretty well. If you'd asked her, she probably waited some time before she created her own Tinder profile. But when she did it, she probably made it permanently. When I did it, I went on for 3 days. Flirted. I don't know. I don't think I set any dates, to be honest, because I just wasn't ready. Back in the day, I would have. What are you doing tonight? Yeah, I need some numbing. Let's go out. But here's the thing, like I said, the grieving process doesn't start until you are alone. It's the same thing as if you're grieving the death of someone. Because when you are, and forgive me, I'm not actually equating losing a loved one that is still alive to losing a loved one who has passed, right? Although the nauseousness, the shakiness, a lot of that is similar, right? But no, I get that death is a loss amidst itself. But the same way you go to the funeral and you do it for a couple days, and then you have family gatherings at home, and then people kind of don't leave you alone for a little bit, and they're dropping food off, and they're making sure you're good, right? Same thing with a breakup. Then you're alone. And then is when you start the grieving process, because you pick up a card, right? And maybe it had, a note from them, and you open it and you just break down. This was the last note they wrote. This was something that was dear to me. This made me feel good. This signifies my love and my relationship with that person. Does this sound like a death, or does it sound like the loss of a relationship? It's the same thing, right? Could you do the same thing? What happened with me, I was taking out freaking Christmas ornaments, and I found a damn ornament that was glass and was empty. And the deal was, last year I was going to give it to her, and I was going to fill it with 100 reasons that I loved her, and then maybe put some, we put some memories in it together. Well, never got to give her the ornament. We got together after that, and still didn't get to give her the ornament because we were so shaky. And so the grieving began then, because I had numbed myself so much, and I grieved a little bit here and there. And I've been single since then. I haven't been numbing myself, but I've been hanging out with friends, and I've been doing other stuff. And so the grieving really, it hit me then. So I think it's super important to stop numbing yourself. Now, I've done some research on, and I'll throw in some of my anecdotes as well. I've done some research. Here's the funny thing. Typically, and I wanted to do this on purpose, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Come here. When I find those top 10 lists that we talk about on our shows, you know how easily I find them? Like that. Okay? You think I'm doing tons of research? Yeah, because I'm reading it and I'm taking notes on it. But the actual finding of what I'm about to talk about, it is the fastest Google search. You can Google anything about relationships and there's a ton of expertise on it. And then all I do is, I like to start the show with what the experts say, and then we talk about my personal stuff, right? Want to hear something interesting? And I did this on purpose. I could have Googled more. I could have figured it out. But you know what? When I first Google how long to wait for another relationship, here's what comes up. The first two, and it's like almost the first page is all the same, okay? Is what to do after a breakup. It doesn't say how long you should wait to date. It just says what you should be doing after a breakup. So what they're saying, if they're saying anything, is you should not put a timeline at all on this thing. What you should be doing is worrying about you and your self-care and your needs before you even think about another relationship. Same thing with the painkillers, right? I didn't think to myself, well, how many painkillers should I take when I start taking painkillers again? And how much pain? No. I took the day and I said to myself, how much pain am I in? Let's figure this out and then move on. So I like this one. This is from MBG Relationships. I'm going to go through all four real quick and then we'll break them down. Number one, stay single until you can be sure you're starting a relationship for the right reasons. I like that. We'll talk about that. Oh, listen, pop-up. I don't need you right now. Number two, love yourself more than you've ever thought possible. All right, that's a little like dance like nobody's watching, eat, pray, love. We don't need that much drama. Number three, learn what a healthy relationship looks like. Okay, and it says take your time. Number four, have some fun. Okay, let's break each one of these down. Stay single until you can be sure you're starting a relationship for the right reasons. This comes down to attachment style, right? 100%. Okay, are you anxious? Are you secure? Are you avoidant? Odds are you're not secure. Not at my age anyway. Because if you've been secure, you're probably in a secure relationship. You're probably avoidant or anxious. The reality is there's more of us out there. Because guess what? The folks who are secure, they're in a secure relationship. Unless there's trauma involved, something happens, whatever. So you need to figure out why you're starting in a relationship. Are you starting a relationship because you're anxious? Are you starting a relationship because you're avoidant? Now, Christopher, are you telling me that I'm going to start a relationship because I want to avoid a relationship? Yup, I am. There's a ton of reasons you'll do that, okay? You might be grieving over your phantom ex and just trying to numb yourself, and you're not ever actually going to get close to this person. You're just going to love that phantom ex, right? You may say things like, yeah, I'm just waiting for the next I'm waiting for the right person. I want to be in love. I want that forever kind of love. And you will say that to your next relationship, making them feel like complete garbage that it's not them, right? So that sucks. So don't do that, right? If you're anxious, you may be more like, well, I better start a relationship. How do I know that what if this next person's my last person, right? So make sure you're starting a relationship for the right reasons. Let me clarify one thing. And I say this at least once every show, I think. There are nearly 8 billion people on the planet. Bruh, you're going to find somebody, okay? It may not be who you're looking at in the magazine. And you know what? You don't want to date the person in the magazine anyway because you know nothing about them, okay? They could be shallow. They could be kicking puppies. Don't date somebody who kicks puppies. Is not the right thing to do. I'm kidding. Don't ever kick a puppy. I'm serious. I've missed Joker. I've been away for 6 days. Can't wait to go on a walk with him. But you want to date for the right reasons. You don't, finding any old person to date because you're numbing yourself, or because you're anxious about the next thing, or because you're trying to avoid a real relationship. It's ridiculous, right? So what are the right reasons? I don't know. I think about it a lot. I think about what my reasons are. I want someone when I'm ready, and maybe I am now. I don't know. I'm talking to somebody that I think could be there, I want someone who I can come home to. This is my number one criteria. I want someone who's loyal and supportive. those are two big things for me. If you know me at all, you know that I went through some trauma a couple of years ago, and there were some folks who attacked and probably continue to attack, and it's disgusting. And I mean, it's getting to the point where it's continued to affect me professionally and whatever. My life has not been, I mean, it's been fun. I love my life. I've made some bad decisions, and I've linked up with the wrong people, and there's been some drama, and that's attached to me. And I don't know if it'll be attached to me forever, and I hope it's not. The person who's with me is going to have to be loyal, because they're going to be put to the test from my past. And it's not from me, it's probably from other folks. I need to know that they've got my back, because I'm going to have their back. That is the one thing that I think about this a lot. You know, people, they go, why'd you just cut that person off? Like, how'd you do that? I go, how did I do that? It didn't just happen tomorrow. It didn't happen like in a second. It happened over the past couple of months, because I'm loyal to folks and I see them disassociate, or I see them not treat me with the loyalty, honor, respect, integrity that I get to them. I see them take me for granted. And so it bottles and it bottles and it bottles, and I'm just going to cut them off, right? I never want to do that with my partner. My partner's going to have to be loyal, because I want to be loyal to them. And they're going to have to be supportive, because I'm crazy. I love doing stuff. I love creating businesses. I love writing books. I want to create a theme park. Did you know that? I want to create a theme park. It's in my bucket list. On my bucket list, in the bucket list, I don't know. So they're going to need to be supportive. And it's going to be someone who, when I come home, maybe they're as ambitious as I am. That's really hard to find. Maybe they're not. That's a little easier to find. Regardless, by the way, you ever see irregardless? Don't ever say that. It's regardless. Regardless, when I come home at night, maybe it's with them, maybe it's they've come home from a different spot, maybe we work together, maybe we don't. That person is going to need to support me in a way that I need. And the third thing is that they're going to have to slow me down. I need someone strong enough to align me, to be like, dude, you need to slow down. You're exhausted. You need to take a break. Let's cook together, because that's a recharge for me. I'll cook with you. I'm not asking for you to cook for me. Let's cook together. Let's go hop in the shower. Let's take a walk. Like, forces me to slow down. Those are my 3 criteria. And then, of course, you know, they need to be look like Tess Holliday. Could it just be Tess Holliday? If you're listening, I don't know. So those are my criteria. That's what I'm looking for. So when it says stay single till you're sure you could start a relationship for the right reasons, those are my reasons. I want a partner. I want somebody who matches me and puts me in a direction and helps me. You know, I'm a dominant guy, but sometimes you got to smack me. So I'm serious. Sometimes you got to get a little rough. You got to be like, dude, what are you doing? Take a break, or don't take a break. Didn't you say you wanted to do this tonight? Get back on it, right? I need that alignment. I need someone strong. So when I jump into these relationships, it's like not even one of those 3 things. It's like somebody super pretty. They have 150,000 followers and everyone thinks they're pretty, or they're open to whatever, you know, or they're clingy like I am. And so, you know, we just kind of fall into it. Those are not the right reasons to start a relationship. Those are the wrong reasons to start a relationship. So you have to really dissect what your reason is. Number 2, love yourself more than ever possible. I think that sounds a little too much like Dance in the Rain. I'll simplify this by saying, yeah, you should definitely get in touch with yourself. And it's the same reason that I took a day off the painkillers, right? Get in touch with yourself, understand who you are, understand what your limitations are, understand what you want, right? Understand what you can compromise on and what you can't. I want a little bambino one day. I want a little Dr. Salute running around just like me. Maybe they got some stubble, right? Maybe they like to go to see show tunes. Maybe they play football. I don't know. I want one, okay? I want a little baby. I want a little clone of me that I can pal around with and wrestle with and have fun with, and like just go to baseball games and talk about whatever. You know, I want to eat pizza with them. I want that, okay? For a while, I wasn't clear with the folks I was dating about the fact that I wanted a child. And I don't care. I don't care if it's genetic. I'll adopt. I shouldn't say a little clone of me. You can give a lot more than sperm. right? A lot more than genes. You can give of yourself, and you can educate somebody to be super cool. Now, I'm not saying I'm super cool, but my kid will be cool. Okay. So now that's a criteria. That's something that I have decided that I want. I've learned that through self-love. It's something I don't compromise on. What will I compromise on? I don't know. I don't care if I have to live in Vegas, right? I'll live somewhere else. I don't care if, this person wants to have more of an urban life or a suburban life. I'd like a suburban life because I have a dog, but I can make, as long as we have a place, dog park, like I'm cool with that. Those are some things I can compromise on. I'm cool with, if this person, I've adamantly said I don't want a minivan. I'm cool with it. I'll get a minivan, that kind of stuff. If there's love there, right? But I want a kid, right? And I don't want to live somewhere where it's super expensive. And I'm always going to be in academia, and I'm always going to write books. And as far as bold goes, I'd like my partners to take it over one day, right? So I'm cool with that, So those are the things that I'll give up my social media tomorrow. I don't care, right? There's certain things I'll compromise on, certain things I won't. And I've learned that through self-love, through spirituality, meditation, understanding who I am, right? There are certain things that define who I am and certain things that don't. Maybe I thought they did. You had asked me 2 years ago, would you ever give up bold? No way, I wouldn't. Now, yeah, I love it, but it causes a lot of struggles. And I think some of my partners can do well with it as well. Learn what a healthy relationship looks like and take your time. Yeah, 1,000%, right? We should all be learning what a healthy relationship looks like. And, you don't have to do that while you're single. You can do that while you're in a relationship for sure. But you don't want to be batting practice while you're at the at-home plate. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the driving range is for before you hit the golf course, right? You got to figure that out. You got to look at what a healthy relationship is. Where do you look? I don't know anymore. Like, I've got some friends who have some decent relationships, but it's tough out there. It's in my opinion, this whole world has become transactional. I can't think of more than like a dozen people in my, no, I shouldn't say that. I have a lot of people in my offline world. I can't think of people that message me on Instagram or whatever. Almost all of them have an OnlyFans account. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to have an OnlyFans account. They have one because men message them constantly and ask for things that they shouldn't be asking for. So they were like, oh, just capitalize on it. I'll just charge them. Okay, whatever. You got to do what you got to do. But life has become so transactional. It's disgusting. That is not disgusting. Sex work is sex work, and I'm a proponent of it. Do your thing. It's disgusting how we treat each other. That everyone seems to have one because of the way men talk to women. I've literally talked to women, and they go, hold on. I kid you not. I'd like to take you on a date. It's me. I'd like to take you on a date. Okay, what do you want to do? I don't know. Do you like sushi? Go out and get some sushi? Yeah. What do you want for it? I kid you not. What do you want for it? What do I want for what? Well, are you expecting? They don't say that. They don't say this word I'm about to say because they say a different word. But they go, "Are you expecting intimacy?" I don't know. I suppose we'll have a consenting conversation prior to, and that consent can change at the turn of a dime if you don't want to. But this is not a quid pro quo. I'm not buying you fish to have sex with you. That is weird. The fish is on me. But that's the level. That's what folks are doing out there. And this whole, it's really sad. So you need to find out what a healthy relationship looks like. And that's not it. A healthy relationship is saturated in communication, in romance, in intimacy, and it doesn't need to be physical intimacy. Physical intimacy, but it damn well should be some, right? It's completely saturated in your wants, your needs, your desires being fulfilled. It is both independent and dependent. You have times in which I liked this metaphor when I got married. Our deacon, who was also my ex-wife's grandfather, so had some skin in the game to teach us how to have a good relationship, and smart guy, great. Everything about the wedding was great. Everything about our marriage was great. Bad timing, I think. One day we'll, would love to have coffee and beg for her forgiveness if she's not watching. But you would think I'm drinking. It really is just seltzer water. And he said to us both, and he said it at the wedding, and he said it before the wedding too. He said, a strong marriage is like, I'm going to screw it up already. It's like two trees that are growing independently, and their branches might weave together and their roots will weave together, but they grow independently. And as they grow stronger, their roots will grow together and their branches might touch, but they have their own lives. And that really resonated with me, because that to me is the strongest of relationships. I got my thing over here, you got your thing over there, and when we meet, right? And we may not meet all the time, every day the same way. We may have tough days. I'm traveling, you're not. You're traveling, I'm not. There's kids involved, there's dogs involved, there's work involved, right? But when we meet, we remind ourselves that our roots are connected and that the strength of our growth comes from our roots connecting. And we're reminded at the top that our branches connect, and it reminds us of the bottom, right? That's what I think a healthy relationship is. So make sure you know what a healthy relationship is. And then it says last, have fun. I think everyone should have fun before they settle down. I really do. I had my fun. I think download an app, whatever. Be upfront. Download an app. Be like, bro, I'm on Tinder. I'm just here for a couple months trying to have some fun. If that's what you want, right? I want to go on some dates, whatever. I'm here for a hookup. I'm here for whatever. Do it. It's fine. It's your life. It's your body. It's your sexuality. Do it. Don't make a habit of it, but do it. And whatever fun looks like to you, forget it. It doesn't even need to be dating, right? Go have fun with your girlfriends. Go have fun with your guy friends. Go out for drinks. Go feel sexy, right? There's nothing I'll go out and, I'm just having drinks with the guys. I don't care, and we'll be talking later and they'll be like, yo, that girl was looking at you. Was she? I don't know. Maybe feel good. Cool. Thanks, man. Go home with feels nice, right? Have fun, right? So I find it really interesting in all these articles, not a single one of them gives you a timeline. The bottom line that they're telling you is you start a relationship when you're ready, but it's when you're ready. No one is to force you into a relationship. You are not to force yourself into a relationship. Don't numb yourself. And numb yourself if you have to, right? Look, we all have the things. We all make mistakes. You've got to learn the hard way sometimes. If you need to numb yourself, do it. Don't stay numb, because I've done it. I've numbed myself for years. Relationship to hookup to this to that to bachelor to player to blah, 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 months, years, and you wake up and you go, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, who am I? And what do I even want anymore? Like, I don't even know anymore, because you're just so used to numbing yourself with this garbage, right? And then somebody goes, what do you want? And you go, I don't know, something, and it gets to the point where, I was at one point, I don't know if I'm still there. Intimacy kind of scared me, physical intimacy, because I'm like, am I supposed to be doing this? Or am I doing it because I want to? Or am I doing it because it's obligatory, because I've gotten to this habit of doing it because it was what was expected of me from the very people who, were using me at events and all sorts of stuff. I don't know, So I think the bottom line is there's no timeline. And I hope that I didn't scare you off in the beginning and said, well, you could just fast forward to the end, because we got there in a way that I think is valuable. I think that finish my club soda. I don't have to drive tonight. I think that the timeline is not important. What's important is the stuff that happens. I had gotten to an argument once, and I still think he's a jackass, but he argues about everything. And he said to me, the time isn't important, it's the experience. Now, to some extent, he's correct. It's the experience. But I will also counter argue that time, right? Time helps the pain heal, right? It does. Because you look at someone, you can look at their photo. Like I look at my ex and I still don't know what happened, and I still don't know what went wrong, and it still hurts and whatever. And I'm still attracted to them. I'm honest, but I don't hurt anymore because I know that they're bad for me. And I look at them and I go, that's not good for me. Whereas before I couldn't do that. And I've had exes, to be honest, that I look at them and I go, not because they're ugly here, because they're ugly here. I look at them and I go, oh, you ugly. It's not what I want. You're an ugly person because you've hurt me and turned me into something I didn't, want to be. So the time does that. The experience will get you ready for the next thing. The time will help you heal from the last one. We're at the time. We're at the time in which we really need to let you go. Been about 50 minutes here. I usually don't keep you too long, but I want to thank everybody for their time today. Tonight's show was about how long to wait before the date, how long to wait before your relationship. I am your host, Dr. Christopher Salute. You are watching WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. This is the Barber Shop where we talk about guy stuff, okay? And I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for hanging out with me, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.